Dom Izzo.
Good Tuesday morning. Welcome, everybody, to the big show on this final day of March 2026 inside our palatial studios. I am Dom Izzo, host of Hot Mic. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We wrap up March with snow coming. That sounds appropriate enough. For those who are excited about the spring sports season and getting ready to rock and roll, well, Mother Nature, after giving us a few 50-degree days over the last few, says, we're going to pump the brakes on that, and we're going to have to wait. So, with that, it is this part of the world. We get used to it, but that doesn't mean the basketball is done, not by a long shot. We still have the Final Fours to get to in both the men and the women. The men heading to Indianapolis, the women of Phoenix. We'll show you later on how the women's Final Four wrapped up in terms of the teams qualifying, including a quasi-Fargo angle to South Carolina's win over TCU last night. Actually, I take quasi out of it. It was a Fargo connection to the South Carolina win over TCU. We'll get to that coming up later on in the show. We have this weekend as well, for those that haven't paid attention, the D2 and D3 men's basketball championship will be playing on Sunday in Indy. The NIT championship is also going on in Indianapolis this week. They have to first get to the final two teams. The final four of that is on Thursday, and there is a connection there for us as well. The Illinois State men are still playing. Also, the women are as well. Illinois State women have got South Dakota in the WNIT tomorrow night, but the men are still playing. We know we got a couple guys there. One, Mason Clabo, and Jamestown's own Boden Skunberg, who starts our show right off the hop this morning, still playing college basketball here. I could call him an old man since I've known him since he was about 16 years old. What's going on, Bo? How we doing, bud?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for making time here. You got a plane to catch. You got practice, the whole 9 yards, but it's almost April, and you guys are still playing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a blessing. I mean, we had our Arch Madness tournament. We lost to UNI, a really good team, and, you kind of think you're done right there. But, a few weeks later, the coach let us know it'll be another home game, and, you're just blessed to still be playing at this time. It was only a handful of teams, the Crown and the March Madness and the NIT, so it's just a blessing to keep you playing, especially my last year, like you said.
Did you think losing that game in the conference tournament that it was done? That was it?
I mean, yeah, we had conversations about the NIT beforehand, but since Belmont, they opted out since their coach left.
Right.
That gave us that auto bid, so it kind of just everything played out right for us.
And then you got an extra home game out of that, which I'm sure you weren't even thinking, hey, we're getting another chance to play. Tell me about how this whole team embraces like a second chance that you've had this last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we're all brothers on this team. We're all really good friends, so it's just like, we're kind of playing with that confidence and swag right now. So it's just awesome being able to play, like you said, in this late in April. Like, it's just honestly a blessing.
So, I mean, the next game you're going to play is on April 2nd. Is this about as late as you've ever honestly played, I have to imagine, right?
Yeah, I'd have to look back. I feel like I'd probably start like AAU, maybe like that was a whole other thing. But, yeah, I mean, we should have been done like a month ago. So, like, just getting this much extra basketball is just so awesome.
So what has this experience been like? We hear about the NIT. Now, you've been in it. You've had one home game. You played a couple road games. What has this been like over the last few weeks?
It's awesome. Just getting to play a lot of good competition. Obviously, just showcase our team at another level, too, because, we weren't happy with the way things ended, but we were still really confident that we were a really good team. And I think we proved that beating, a really good Dayton team, a really good Wake Forest, Kent State team. And I think just being able to go on this run obviously just gives a lot of energy into the community for next season too, and just continue to build on what Coach Peden has done every year since he's been here.
How about for you personally, just to keep this going? I got to imagine like, hey, let's just 40 more minutes. What's your mentality been like?
Just take it one minute, one practice, one hotel film session at a time, because like you said, I'm an old man. I was blessed with another year, so just taking advantage of that and just being in the moment and just realizing that it's there's only a few more games left and just enjoying the ride.
We got to catch up in October before the season got going. Has this played out even better than you could have thought this year personally for you?
I mean, yeah, outside of winning our tournament championship, but this is being in a Final Four this late in April, like, yeah, this is definitely a blessing.
Especially after what happened last year. You have to imagine that this, I don't know if you were going to keep, right? If basketball was still going to happen considering you didn't even play at all last year because you were hurt.
Yeah, it was tough because, I had that stress fracture. I was out all year. And then actually this summer I tore my MCL. So I was out for about 3 or 4 months. And then the week that I came back, we played Illinois. And that was like my first week back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was tired. I was out of shape. And obviously that's another Final Four team. So that was, a test. So it took me a while to get back, into the swing of things and into rhythm. But, I'm just glad it played out like it has been.
Tell me about Missouri Valley Conference basketball now that you've been in it. Is it better than the Summit? Comparable at all to what you remember in the Summit League? Give us your evaluation.
Yeah, obviously the Summit League is a great league, but the Valley, it's up there. Playing these ACC teams. I think a lot of their conferences are a lot more athletic and just lengthy and long. But I think we have this Valley is so tough and it's hard to get calls and teams are so physical and they're so good at scouting and so deep into the year you can't run plays and it's just really well coached. And there's a lot of high major players and talent, like even some NBA level guys in this conference. So yeah, it's a tough league.
Was it eye-opening to go through it, or what was your okay, this is definitely a jump above of what I've been used to?
Yeah, I think it's one of the more physical conferences, honestly, outside of the Big Ten. But yeah, because in the Summit League, you kind of, it's definitely not as physical, not as many bigger bodies. But you always hear about the Valley being tough, and I played a few Valley games against Southern Illinois, and I actually played Illinois State when I was at NDSU.
Yep.
It's tough there, but once you get into the swing of things, oh yeah, it's physical. You can't get catches, you can't run plays. It's so tough.
For you, physically, how you feeling now? I made a joke off the top, but yeah, you played a lot of basketball. Yeah. How are you feeling right now?
A lot of Advil. I'll say that. I take a lot of Advil. But no, the coaches here today do a good job of giving me some leeway. They understand that I'm older, and if they got to hold me out of practice, or I guess got to do a little less outside of practice, they do a good job of that and giving me a lot of rest time. And we have a great recovery staff and strength coach, and so it's been awesome.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyway because I got at least a few emails last week. Hey, Dom, Illinois State still playing. Don't forget what's going on with them. Describe what the support has been like back home of your postseason run that you guys have had.
Yeah, it's crazy, say that. I've developed so many relationships at North Dakota State that from people that they still talk to and they still support me, and that's just been huge. Because me, I'm a family guy, kind of a small town kid. So it was hard right away, leaving North Dakota and everything So still hearing from all those people and getting texts and support, it just means the world to me. All
right, it's Auburn who you got. SEC school that's coming up Thursday night. You got Scout coming up. Have you looked at him yet, or what are you looking at that you're going to have for a matchup here on Thursday?
Yeah, we've had a few days off. So I think we're about to get into some film here in the next 30, 45 minutes I got left before practice. But yeah, they're obviously just a highly talented team. I think they do a lot of ISO ball, but I think we're going to be focused on just being tougher than they are. I think that was our main focus coming to this. We're going to play a lot of talent, but Coach Pete always says no one's going to play tougher and harder than we are, and I think that's just a big thing. We're going to be sound and solid and take away what they want to do, so it'll be interesting. And they got a lot of talent, and I'm really excited to showcase what our team can do.
How about the fact you're going to Indianapolis, you're playing at Butler's Arena, that's where Hoosiers was filmed, all that. Have you let your mind go there yet, or not till you guys get there later tonight?
Yeah, I definitely thought about that. Someone asked me in an interview about that yesterday, and I had a teammate that played at Butler last year. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of history there and a lot of, if you know anything about basketball, you respect that arena for sure. Yeah. So I think I'm excited to, experience that, and I think it'll be a great crowd. We're only 2.5 hours away from there, so I think we'll get a lot of fans there too. But yeah, like you said, just take it one moment at a time, just enjoy this practice, and then when the time comes, we'll be excited about it.
And there's only a couple of college basketball games tomorrow night. You're one of them. So people that are going to watch some hoops, you're playing. That's a big deal, man.
Yeah, I mean, your goal is to play as much meaningful basketball late in the season as you can, and kind of being able to put on for North Dakota and hopefully get his name out there and play for my family members and just a lot of people watching. So I'm excited to play for them, and yeah, it's like you said, it'll be a lot of fans. So it's like if you can't get excited, you're in the wrong sport.
How much have at least either your teammates, classmates, you and Mason are both there from North Dakota. How much grief have you guys got throughout the year?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I think he was like a water boy when I played his team in state my junior year. And he said, we always joke about it. He said he hated me. Like, he just didn't like me at all because I beat his team. And he even said he was crying because he was like, obviously a lot of little kid back then. But, so yeah, I know it's crazy that we both, North Dakota kids end up in the same school. I think we're like one of the only two kids obviously out of North Dakota ever. So it's been cool having him just alongside another North Dakota kid. Everyone always gives us crap. They always give Mason crap about his accent. They always say he's got the old North Dakota accent. So we always give him crap about that, so it's fun.
So he has it and you don't? Is that where you found out here?
I don't know. I must have lost it. I don't know, but his is pretty bad. I think I used to have it, but you spend enough time next to Chicago, I think you lose it.
All right, so we had him on last month or maybe in February when the whole asthma, the whole thing kicked off, the inhaler deal. Can you give your perspective on the story and when you found out that he actually left the arena?
Yeah, no one knew until after the game. But, they're telling stories, and, like, everyone was like, because he ran outside in his whole uniform. And apparently he told one of the coaches, he was like, yo, don't check me back in. I'll be right back. So he just, it's about a block away. So he ran out of the gym with his whole uniform and shoes on and came back. And he told the story after the game. Everyone was like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, just have a manager go get it. Like, he just ran and got it.
Did you, to understand, where his dorm is, and I think I know your campus enough that it's not that far away, but literally he left in his shoes and sneakers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and he had to go, he went by probably a handful, there's probably so many people outside that saw him too and were like, what the heck? Yeah, that is, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd have to send a manager to go get it. So I'm impressed with the idea that he had to go get that, but no, that's definitely on par for who Mason is, just a funny guy.
How much did that blow up? Did that surprise you? The base of the story went viral after Coach Pete talked about it after the game, right?
Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't think he was going to tell anybody that because I was just like, but he went right into our interview room and he just told the whole media, and that just got so much traction on Twitter, and we didn't really expect that, so that was pretty funny.
Oh man. Last thing before I let you go, and I appreciate you doing this morning because I know you got a busy day on tap here. This whole experience of going, because I think for a couple years ago, Boden, the portal was still new to people up here. Now I think they've got a hardened opinion of it. They know what the whole deal is. Can you describe what that was like? And okay, you know what? This was I spent 4 years at NDSU. I got another chance to play beyond that. Can you describe what that is like now? Because I think people now understand what it's like to go in as opposed to when you went in. That was only a couple years ago.
Yeah, obviously people are a lot more open to it now. I think it's just part of the game of basketball. And when I left, I actually told Dave the year before that we had a good conversation. I have a great relationship with him, so I was like, I think I'm going to transfer after next year. I know 5 years is too much with you, Dave, I think. And we have a good relationship enough to where he understood, and I think it was best for me to kind of get out of that comfortable or just being comfortable close to home. And so I think this was a great learning experience for me, especially if I want to play professionally overseas or whatever. Just getting away from home and being uncomfortable, I think that was a big thing. But yeah, like you said, the portal is it's part of the game now, and I feel like in North Dakota, there's a lot of good old boys there who probably don't like the idea of it, but it's just a part of it. I think it's a good thing too, give some leverage to players and, let them be able to, do something good for themselves.
Did you get a lot of flack? Did you hear from people saying, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I did, but I think it was definitely more of a minuscule number. I got a lot more support because, I think I had a pretty good relationship with most of the people there, but obviously there's always some Twitter trolls that think they know everything, but I think it was the right decision. I still cheer for NDSU. I'm still a big fan. I'll be back there when I'm done. Grow up with kids, but yeah, I think it was the right decision, and I'm happy for both people.
It's great to see you, man. Thanks so much for squeezing us in this morning. Safe travels. Good luck on Thursday night, and we'll chat again down the road. Okay.
All right, Dom. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, bud. There he goes. Boden Skunberg, pride of Jamestown, North Dakota, joining us. Illinois State has Auburn. That's the late game Thursday night ESPN from Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis in the second game of the NIT. And I brought that last point up. First off, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. Because it's only 2 years ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago in terms of, I hope people's expectations and realizations of what the transfer portal is in college basketball. Because at that point, and heck, I remember the 2 years prior when Dave Richmond had 6 guys go. I'm like, oh, something's wrong with Dave. He doesn't know what he's doing, and there's got to be something afoul in the program because that many guys left. And I remember sitting doing this show right in this chair, because we need new chairs in here, that no, this is what's going to happen. And here we are now 4 years later, and there are 6 guys that have departed. I don't think anybody really batted an eye, right? Like, no, this is where we're at. Even 2 years ago when Skunberg left, I think people were like, well, he's a North Dakota guy. Why would he ever go through that? And I think he and Dave were very open about that. Again, that was not a shocker at the end of the year when Boden decided he had an extra year to use because Skunberg's freshman year was the COVID year of 2021. That was the free year. And why he's still playing, he got hurt, didn't play at all last year, so he got a medical. That's why now he's in his 6th year of college basketball. But it just, to me, it feels different even from 2 years ago to now. I think of people's, I'll say, acceptance of where we're at with the movement that happens in college basketball. Appreciate his time, and we'll be keeping an eye on that coming up on Thursday. With that, we got a packed show. That's just the tip of the iceberg we got coming up here on this Tuesday. 9:35, our guy Mike McFeely will join us as per usual, go through a variety of topics. I have some. I'm sure that'll all be blown to smithereens by the time he comes on at 9:35. At 10 o'clock, we'll welcome on the new head coach of the University of St. Thomas women's basketball team. Mandy Pearson will join us, Concordia Hall of Famer after 11 years at Duluth. Hired last week to take over for Ruth Sin. A lot of expectations. I think it's a really good job, and Mandy's done an amazing job at Duluth. Got them, of course, to the runner-up finish in D2 in 2023. They were in the Elite Eight just last week. We'll chat with her at 10 o'clock. And at 10:35 from Bison Spring Ball, now you'd have to say the most experienced wide receiver back for North Dakota State. Jackson Williams will join us about taking that mantle, about catching passes from Nathan Hayes. Some really good stuff with Jackson Williams coming up at 10:35. That and a heck of a lot more we'll try and squeeze in here over the next hour and 42 minutes or so. We'll take our first break. We come back. Quite the night last night for the Minnesota professional teams. Twins, Wolves, okay. That's coming up when Hot Mike returns on a Tuesday morning. We're back after this.